get done with 2 on the break, and it's all over. That's, and we haven't come back from that, which is not good enough.
Yeah, I felt Adam had his tactics right, setting up like a 4-5-1 and trying to contain you. But I felt the turning point was when Kenny Poe come off and with his twisted angle. I felt the fluency and his hold up play and bringing others into it got lost at that point. And but you're always they're always dangerous because they're a lively side, Earth, and caught you on the hop there a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? We said it. They're going to be used to playing on this. Most of the young kids they've got were brought up on this surface, so they they feel comfortable on it. But on nights like tonight, we've got to be better than that. At times when you're under the cosh and you're not playing as well as you can, we've got to be better. But on chances created, the amount of crosses we've put in, and the amount of ball we've had, when we came out second half for the first 15, 20 minutes, I thought we were lively. You then got to go and get the second goal. And I think if you get the second goal, then it's a different game. We don't do that. How do you react? Well, not very well. The kid pulls one out, which is a great goal. Got have we got tight enough to stop the shot? No, we haven't. So we've got to look at that. That's not good enough. And then, to be honest, they've got the goal that they deserved, in my opinion. I watch it the same as everybody else. And on the second half, as a general, as a rule, I actually think they deserve the 3 points.
And of course, when things go wrong, one of your closest rivals, Beckenham, pick up a win when they were losing 2-0 at one stage. I don't know if you realised that.
No,
and then they go on and win 4-2 at Sheppey, which I think puts them on the same points as you now. I think there's 6 goals less, so you're still at the top. You're still, you're still there. You don't seem too downbeat and disheartened. Obviously you'll pick the lads up and go again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got 2 games in hand, so really the ascendancy is with us. We've got a slightly better goal difference, but there's a long way to go. There's 16 games to go, and we've got a massive fixture backlog now, which is really heaped upon us by some ridiculous movements with putting fixtures in. We haven't had a midweek game for 9 weeks, and then we have 5 on the bounce. That happens, but we've got to be man enough to deal with that. Got a big enough squad to deal with it. It's unfortunate this week that we've got 4 out. That no excuses today, but we could have called upon them today. Maybe we'd have had fresher legs. Maybe that's something that we've got to look at. But they weren't available, so there's nothing we could do about it.
I presume Rory Hill was one of them.
Yeah, Rory's one. Brett Ince is another. Billy Bennett's another. So we've got three or four of them that are struggling with illness, flu and gastroenteritis and whatever else you can throw at us at the moment. Which would have helped today. That would have, from a tough game in the mud down at Bearsden on Saturday, I think with some fresh legs, with a Billy in there probably and Rory playing, might have been a little bit different. But sometimes you've got to look at it and don't beat yourselves up about what we do. You've got to look at what they've done tonight and credit to them. I thought they were the better side over 90 minutes.
Moving on a little bit from tonight's game, talk about yourself a little bit. Obviously, I've heard your name around the non-league scenes, and obviously you've got a bit of a pedigree. Can you let our viewers know quite what your background's about and where you've managed before, and just so that we all know a little bit more about you as a person?
Yeah, absolutely. I played decent level, so I did okay, had a good career, and I packed up when I was 25, set my business up, and I went back at 37 and played around again in Ryman Prem and wherever. And then I managed Erith and Belvedere, got offered the job there, done 3 years there, won the league and cup double with them, which got promoted to step 4, and then I left, had a year out, and then Paul's my good friend here, and he wanted a management change here. So that was it. He sold me the project, and I wanted to come down and be part of it, the 3G and the possible clubhouse and everything that's with it. That's it. And he supported me and some of the directors, and we pushed on, and we took it from, without being rude to them, it's from the whipping boys to actually competing. To win the first trophy last year was great. That's never been done at senior level. And then to be competing to win a league title this year is something that I don't think we ever realised would happen at Sevenoaks. But it's done, and it's sometimes you look at yourself, but I look at the team I've got around me. It's not just me. We've got some good players, but I've got a good backroom staff, and I've got a chairman and directors that help. And if they don't make it possible, then I don't make it.
Rumours are you're the Man City of the Southern Combination League. You're on a 3-year contract, obviously good money flowing around the place. I mean, where does all that come from? Is the chairman rich, or because what rumours are like at this level? I mean, but I've seen the players you've got out there. They don't come here for peanuts. So what I mean. Obviously, there's a good budget here for you to complete the job.
The funny thing with football is when a team's successful, everyone levies money at it. I don't know why we do that in British mentality, but we do it. And I was just having this conversation with a good friend of mine earlier. And it's funny because someone said to me the other day, it's only the teams that pay big money that win anything. I don't think Leicester City were the biggest paying team in the Premier League when they won it. And rumours are rumours, and there was rumours about Crowborough pay this, and at the end of the day, we look after our own. We work within our means. We've set up something that a lot of teams haven't, because we've put a revenue stream in. That revenue stream sits out there and is nice and green and lush, and that means that game goes on tonight, whereas a lot haven't, because a lot of people haven't invested in their facilities. What they'll do is invest on their pitch and their players, and they won't put it behind the scenes to generate a revenue for 1,000 children that are at this football club to come down here and hone their skills every night of the week, no matter what the weather is. We've got our house in order correctly, because we do it right, and we wouldn't rush anything unless we were in a position to actually move it forward. Whether we pay a player £30, £50, £100 in irrelevance in my book. A player comes for the right reasons to come to Sevenoaks, and it's certainly not the fact that we're paying them hundreds of pounds, because that's not the case. Yes, we've got a budget, and yes, we use it correctly. But the bigger thing for them is they turn up here because there's a project and there's something to get their teeth in. I've got players in there that can play Ryman Prem, but they play it for a reason. It's certainly not for financial gain. I can guarantee you that. They've come here because they look at the projects and go, you're a club with a future. You're a club with a plan, because there's many that haven't.
Thanks for your honesty on that one. And moving on a little bit, if you did get promoted, which is seeming, likely, has this ground been graded yet and been passed, ready to go up? Because obviously your supporters and players will probably want to know that for definite. There's maybe a few things I did wonder myself, whether it's got the criteria ready to go when you have your inspection, if you haven't had it already. And has this club got the structure to actually go up to that next level?
Absolutely. And yes, on all counts. We passed grading last year because we finished third and we thought we still had a chance. So we passed it last year and we'll pass it again this year. The only thing we need to do, which is already in hand, is we need to put a more covered area in for standing. But I believe that stand will be with us in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and it's going over there. It's already been paid for. We've just got to do a bit of groundwork, put a base in. That will come straight in and be put in. That's the only thing we need.
Make sure you do that, because when I was at Merstham, we had all the base in and the stand didn't turn up in time.
We're on that. Yeah, we're on that. They're the same people that built this stand. They're the same people that built the one over there. No, we're on the ball, and there's no way that we'd push to go for a promotion if we couldn't back it up with ground grading. We're fully aware of that, and as I say, we passed it last year with the grass down, without the 3G surface, and we'll pass it again this year with flying colours.
As you said, you've got a lush 3G surface out there, and I could obviously, when we rocked up here, there was loads of cars in the car park, parents picking kids up and what have you. So obviously that's flourishing, but does that generate up to sort of like an under-18 level? And have you blooded any of the youngsters at the minute coming through onto the verges of your first team, or indeed in your first team?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we start from under 7 here, and we go right the way up to our vets team. We have a reserve side, we have under-18s. 2 of them under-18s have actually featured in the first team this season, more than one occasion, which is difficult. When you're at the top of the league and you're vying for something, them kids have got to be really good to come and really push for a first team place. But they've done it. They train with us every week. We all train on the same facility, and it's something we strive to do. That's the whole reason we're here. Is to produce kids. Can we get them in the first team, and can we move on? The good thing that we need to do is that by being at step 4, if we can make it happen, is you'll actually attract better kids to want to come here, and then your standard throughout your club works. We have a great presence in the Kent Youth League. Most of our teams are quite successful in that this year, and of course, I look at it. I was here Sunday looking at the under-15s, seeing what we've got further down the club. I come and coach here midweek to make sure the kids are getting the right things. My first team assistant, John Wilford, coaches here. Julian, the goalkeeping coach, coaches. We put our hours back into the kids, because we know our future. You can't keep going out and bringing players in from outside. You need to have a decent youth system, and you need to blood your own, and we look at doing that.
And if I sort of spoke to some of the players that I know quite well, Jason's playing for you, Rory obviously in there tonight, and Frankie, and I said to them, how would you describe Micky Collins' style of management? Is he a sort of shouter, baller type of Conte type of person, or is he a Wenger that's calm and collective? Because I was sort of expecting you to be very vocal tonight, and you were quite quiet, and Adam was the more vocal one. Is that, not normally what you like? Are you a calm, collective type of person?
I think it depends on the mood, and it depends on you and how you feel at the time. I don't think you can label someone that's shouty all the time or quiet. I can go in there and throw the teacups around, not a problem. but I can also go in there and be calm and collected. And as I was at the end of the game, I never went in there and shouted and screamed, because at the end of the day we've lost. There's no positivity in going there and being totally negative. So you need to go in there, pick them up, because we're obviously a really terrible side now, because we've lost 1 in 19. So, you've got to go in there and be honest with them and say, that's not acceptable. I'm not happy with what we've done tonight. Maybe my performance wasn't good enough as well as yours, so we'll all take it on the chin. We win and lose together, but I'm after a reaction now. And yeah, sometimes I get carried away and sometimes I shout and scream from the dugout, but, that's football, isn't it? You've got to have a bit of passion, but, just tonight, I didn't feel like I needed to do that. The game was going on. There's a couple of times I've had to have a moan, but I didn't moan at half time. We just changed formation and tried to put something else into the game, and I think it worked second half to start off with. And then, as you say, I think losing Poggy was a main crux of it. And then if Frankie scores the one off the post and we go 2-0 up, I think it's a totally different game.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And moving on to a controversial subject, referees. Obviously, I asked this question to a lot of managers. There's not always great feedback, but obviously that referee did get around the park, which is fitness has always been what people talk about, negativity. I mean, can you give me, first of all, on the refereeing standard tonight, and just generally at step 5, what the refereeing levels are?
I think he's very inconsistent. I think some weeks you'll turn up, and I thought he'd done a good job tonight, that guy. I thought he was really good, controlled the game well, didn't stand any shenanigans from anyone. And, he let the game flow. I didn't have any issues with him at all. Didn't have to moan at him once. He dealt with a couple of fouls by issuing yellow cards at the right time. What more can you ask? But, I can look at other games and think, wow, where have they got this guy from? They're the inconsistencies. But, we all get irate and we all moan about it, but it is what it is. We're never going to have VAR at this level. And, I do think sometimes by putting assessors up there all the time can cause them problems. I think that sometimes puts too much pressure on them. And I do believe that, across football, that referees should be made accountable. I can stand here and talk whether we've won, lost or drawn, and players are dragged over the coals. Why they can't do that at top level football, I don't know. I think it's something should be. They're paid for it, and they're paid handsomely. So, I don't think it's wrong that a referee can stand there and go, well, the reason I gave that decision was, and they go, well, actually, look back, you got it wrong. And they go, well, sorry, I didn't mean to. We're all honest, and we all make mistakes.
Yeah, I'd love to actually be able to interview referees after a game, but I think they have to be agreed by the FA and by their peers. But anyway, I want to be positive about referees because they do get bad press and, at all levels of football. If, if your chairman said to you, Micky, can you sell a club on TV, can you just give a few words for any prospecting players that might have been looking at us tonight about this club? What would be good for them to come down this club, and for supporters locally to come down this club? If you were selling it with a few sentences, can you just give us some sentences to sell this club?
Yeah, in my opinion, I'm here because it's a great club and I wouldn't be anywhere else. We do things right, we do things honestly, and we do things right. And at the end of the day, you come down here and watch us play. We play good football, we try to pass it. There's not a lot of screaming and shouting and swearing, not from our side. Which bodes well for the youth. We look after the youth. We look after everyone that comes here, and I think it's we are successful at the moment. So why wouldn't you want to come and support your local side? It is a difficult thing in Sevenoaks because there's other sports that take the mainstay. But for me, it is a good club, and everyone's looked after. You can see facilities are great, and yeah, I certainly wouldn't be anywhere else. That's for sure.
Thank you for those words. And very, very last question now. Obviously, Deal Town away. Is it Saturday? Home Saturday. As you said, I suppose you went in there and picked the boys up ready for a game. Will you have any players back? Can you tell your supporters if there's any updates on players coming back that will be ready for Saturday? And indeed, if Kenny Pogue will be okay. He was walking up towards your dugout, so he didn't seem such a bad twist.
No, we're fingers crossed on Ken, but we won't know till tomorrow until we see what the swelling is. But yeah, hopefully we'll have 2 or 3 to choose from added to the ranks on Saturday, which is good. So Billy should be back. Hopefully Rory will be back, and Brett Ince will be available. So we can look at that and decide whether we want to bring them back into the squad and deal with it. But it'll be a tough game Saturday. They're a good side. I like them down. I think they've done really well this year. Facilities down there have improved vastly over the last couple of years. And another club on the up, another club with a little plan. And I like the guys that run it down there. They're nice fellas. And yeah, it'll be a tough game. They'll want to come and beat us Saturday. We beat them down their place earlier in the season, so they'll want to come and stick one over on us. And we just got to react and turn up and do what we've been doing.
Thanks, Micky Collins, for being honest and upfront with us
no
tonight, and thanks for Sevenoaks Football Club for looking after us. Thank you.
No problem.